Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take the top stories in cryptocurrency and digital assets and break them down into bite-sized pieces. Today, we've got some pretty interesting stories as far as adoption and as far as regulation goes. So first up, Bitcoin and Ethereum have been confirmed to be coming to the next generation of Samsung smartphones, which is right around the corner also. The XRP price collapsed to 14 cents on Bitmex exchange, and there's a lot of traders that are not very happy. And Bitcoin surges after Fed Chair Powell declares that the U.S. is working very hard on a digital dollar, which leads us into the next story, which talks about Treasury Secretary Mnuchin says the U.S. government will roll out significant new requirements on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and Ripple is right behind the curtain, trying to build a regulatory base, putting up different shops in Washington, D.C., and lobbying efforts. And finally, we're going to talk about economist Steve Mnuchin from Johns Hopkins University states that crypto is only good at enabling scams. That's crazy. Speaking of which, let's talk about the scam of the day. So thanks to everybody who has contributed to the scam of the day and getting rid of these scammers. We'll go over this at the very last part, so let's get into today's stories. First up, Samsung is coming in strong, and they are going to be putting in Ethereum and Bitcoin into their smartphones. And this is a fascinating story. If you were around in 2017, if this story would have came out in December 2017, people's heads would have exploded and the market would have gone even more crazy than it already did. But let's get into this story. So what it says here, the world's largest smartphone vendor, Samsung, has confirmed that support for cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin and Ethereum, is coming to its new line of smartphones. On its web portal, describing the features of the Galaxy S20, Samsung says new generation will include the company's proprietary app that allows users to store private keys for Bitcoin, ETH, and Ethereum-based ERC20 tokens. We created a secure processor dedicated to protecting your PIN, password, pattern, and blockchain private key, combined with the Knox platform. That's a good way to say it. Knox platform. Security is infused into every part of your phone, from hardware to software, so private data stays private. And this is essentially what it's going to do. It's going to turn your Samsung smartphone into a cold wallet. Well, not a cold wallet, into a hardware wallet, essentially, because you're going to be connected to the internet at all times. So it's going to be a hardware wallet for you just to, carry around everywhere you go, spend your cryptocurrency, save your cryptocurrency, have control of your keys. I mean, this is amazing. Mass adoption will happen when things become easy and cryptocurrency and digital assets run in the background without people know what the heck is going on. Same thing with the internet. If this happens, or when this happens, not if, when, it's going to be a game changer, and I cannot wait to see how this all unfolds. Next story. XRP collapses to 14 cents on Bitmex exchange. Jeez, that is awful. States here, Bitmex uses fair price marketing to avoid unnecessary liquidations that may occur when a certain coin is subjected to market manipulations. However, in a rage-filled tweet, one user claims he lost all of his funds after the brutal red candle that appears to be a system glitch. First of all, can you imagine if you are a trader and you are on Bitmex and you are going long or short or whatever you're doing, and you have this candle pop up and all of your profits that you potentially could have had just gets wiped out. Just gets wiped out. Even if you're doing leverage trading and all of a sudden you're like, hey, I got 10,000 XRP, no big deal, and I'll sell it whenever. And then it just bottoms out and you just get wiped like this one trader did. Not only just one trader, I can guarantee there are massive amounts of people that lost a lot of money. So this is not a glitch on the XRP side, the Ripple side, not the problem with the coin itself. It's with Bitmex, and it's with Arthur Hayes. Arthur Hayes is the CEO with just about a week ago who claimed that XRP was dog shit. So, well, actually, no, I take that back. He said, he asked the question, is XRP dog shit? That's exactly what he said. Not that he said that it was what it was, but he's got an answer for that. And that is a huge problem if you have your exchange screwing up that bad. Imagine if this would have been a Bitcoin type of thing, or an Ethereum, or whatever else it is, and instead of Bitcoin being 10,000, it just drops to, 5,000 or 4,000 or 3,000, and you get wiped out of all your cryptocurrency. How would that feel? Would you be okay with that? I mean, now XRP right now is trading around 32 cents, 31 cents, somewhere around there. So, I mean, it doesn't matter. Even if you lose 100,000 XRP, that hurts. Anyhow, this article goes on to state that while indignant traders are demanding answers, the exchange and its controversial CEO, Arthur Hayes, are yet to bring some clarity to the table. Now, business owners that are out there like you and me, you know that if you screw up, you are the one in the chopping block. You have to answer for all the faults of all your employees and everything else for your business. And if you don't, then it's going to be your head anyhow. So this guy needs to get out there. He needs to start talking about like, hey, we screwed up. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to fix it. You can trust us. Because if he does not do that in a timely fashion, people are going to massively leave Bitmex. I would do it right now. I wouldn't be trading there whatsoever. If I had any money, it'd be gone off that place because I worked hard enough for my money. I'm not going to have some glitch screw me over so I can lose it all just because I can do some trading. F that. Moving on. Bitcoin surges after Fed Chair Powell declares the U.S. is working on a digital dollar. Fantastic. So testifying before Congress on Tuesday, this is on February 2nd, Powell said that we're working hard on it, the digital dollar. We've got a lot of projects going on, lots of efforts going on right now. He admitted that Facebook's announcement to launch its own digital currency, Libra, has really motivated the Federal Reserve to step up its efforts to develop its own digital currency in the United States. When asked by Congressman Foster how a digital dollar would look like and whether it would bear some semblance to the China's central bank digital coin, or CBDC, he cited that the idea of having a ledger where you know everybody's payments is not something that will be particularly attractive to the United States context. So when I read this, I thought to myself, okay, is he talking about it's not attractive for U.S. citizens to have this and have all their different transactions read, like what's going to happen with the digital yuan in China? Or is he saying this is not attractive for the U.S. government for us to have a digital dollar so all of its citizens can see exactly what we're spending on and where all these different black box operations are going to and all this money that's somehow just billions disappear out of the budget? Don't know what happened to it, U.S. citizens, just gone. For those of you who are not in the United States, this is what happens every single year. We just lose billions of dollars, just billions. We don't know what happened to it, just gone. So I would think that if I'm a U.S. government, I'm like, I don't know if we want to track everything on the digital ledger. So we'll see. Let's move on. And this is a quick little article. Mnuchin right now was talking to Congress, and he's talking about how they're going to roll out significant new requirements on Bitcoin. He just says, well, you'll see a lot of work coming out very quickly. I'm not going to read the article at all because there's nothing. It's just all fluff. It's all like speculation, just like this entire market that we're in. But it's all about like, what is he going to do? The thing that strikes me about this is how fast they're moving now as far as cryptocurrency digital assets. It was amazing how Facebook came out with Libra, or they tried to, and then that collapsed. That propelled China to move their CBDC, their central bank digital coin, and make it actually a reality in Q1 of this year. And now all of a sudden we have all these central banks going, we need that. Now we have America, which they should have done this a long time ago. They should have done this in 2018, 2017, 2016. Get on board and be like, hey, we need regulation to know where things are going. So all these different types of fintech companies can actually get in here. We can have clarity. We can have institutions in, and we can grow this sector to where it is supposed to grow. However, they drag their feet, and this is where we're at right now. Then now they're just playing catch up. And the problem with playing catch up, anytime you kind of do that, is you are going to make mistakes. You are going to be a little too rash, and you're going to kind of lump everything together. And I see, this is just a guess, pure guess. If you've got this guy going, we're going to get this done, we're going to have this, we don't want to have money laundering, we want to go to the cartels, blah, 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 blah. They're going to crack down. That's what it's going to come down to. Because there is a saying, it's better safe than sorry. And his job is to make sure that things are not being spent in a dishonest way, I guess I could say it. I mean, that's what they'd look at it from the outside looking in. Also, his job is to make sure that people are paying their taxes and that the U.S. government is taxing the heck out of us as much as possible. So when he has these types of things, they're going to crack down. I think it's going to be a little bit too much, and then they'll kind of loosen these restrictions as time goes on. That's just the way I see it. And that's just a pure guess and speculation. I have no idea because we'll find out in a couple months. Moving on. Leading into regulation, this is a regulation-heavy video. We're talking about Ripple. Now, Ripple, they have done a lot of work with the government as far as lobbying and putting the pieces together and putting pieces of in place of what they want to do to grow this sector. They're not just sitting on the sidelines. And this was a great article, and I'm going to just condense it to the most basic points. So, the world of payments was brought to a standstill when Facebook unveiled Libra, which we all know. In July, CEO Brad Garlinghouse and co-founder Chris Larsen penned a letter to the U.S. Congress pleading demarcation. The letter was published as a full-page advertisement in the Wall Street Journal. Of course, Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larsen, both from Ripple, and they just spent a bunch of money. They said, hey, here's a full-page ad in the Wall Street Journal, and just said, Dear Congress. And they just pretty much says, don't paint us with a wide brush. We're all separate. We all do different things. Don't lump us all into one basket, essentially. So it's interesting how they know that they have to get on the side of government first, because you can only do a revolution inside. It's kind of hard to attack things from the outside. Moving on, the letter praised central banks and they complimented the U.S. dollar, not replacing them. It says here the U.S. should lead the way in the innovation of privacy and stability, fearing the migration of new technologies overseas. And now I know some of you guys won't like that, hearing about how Ripple is cozying up to the regulators, cozying up the government. But look, it's a lot easier to put in that Trojan horse in than to battle everything from the outside in. You can get a lot more flies with honey than you can with being angry and fighting and kicking and screaming all the way through the doors. So yeah, it's a good plan. Bring people in, make them feel cozy and safe, and then boom, drop the hammer. And I think that's not a bad idea. Moving on, in October, Ripple opened up its Washington, D.C. office, not to branch out its payments, but to shore up its lobbying efforts. So they made a office right in Washington, D.C. so they could have easier access to these congressmen and senators. Amazing. And then let's just put the pieces together. So Craig Phillips, former counselor to the Secretary of the U.S. Treasury Department from January 2017 to June 2019, joined Ripple's board to provide insight on policy leadership. Interesting. Joining Ripple's International Policy Council in August 2019 was Susan Friedman. She was a senior advisor to Heath P. Tarbert at the Treasury. Tarbert, in 2019, was appointed as the commissioner for the Commodity Futures Trading Commissions, the CFTC. And in a recent interview, Tarbert said, hey, right now, we think Bitcoin and Ether are the two that fall in R, which is, commodities, CFTC's category. As far as XRP, it's unclear. Stay tuned, I would say. We've been working closely with the SEC over the last year or so to really think about which cryptocurrency falls into what box, Tarbert said. So you can put the pieces together. Ripple, what they did, it's not about what you know, it is who you know. And when you run in certain circles, you can get a lot more access to people and be like, what do you think about this? Here's what we think. Here's what we want to do. And just share ideas. And you can have an open dialogue and communication for not just regular Joe Blows like you and me, like people who are like the CFTC chairman, people who work for the SEC, people who work with inside the CFTC. It doesn't matter. But they've got all these people going, hey, how can we shape this? And I don't see many other or any other cryptocurrency digital asset projects actively working with government. And some of you will say, well, that's the whole point. The whole point of Bitcoin is to get rid of government. Well, here's the fact, Jack. You're not going to get rid of government, okay? I don't think that the government is going to collapse all the way. I do not believe that the banks are going to collapse to the floor tomorrow. So if you want a revolution, it's easier to go and kind of get in through the front door than having to go around and battle everybody and fight to, the last man. That's just an easier way to do things. I don't see why people are so stubborn and they have to have it just this one way. Just relax. It'll happen. It'll take time. Work with the people around you. And but so when we start to talk about, Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC and the CFTC and all that stuff, the big question right now is for XRP is it going to be considered a security? So if you look at what a security is, essentially. So Bitcoin was deemed not a security, and there's this thing called a Howey test, and there's 4 different criteria. But you look at, was there a monetary investment for Bitcoin? Yes. Not initially, though. Initially, it was just people mining, transferring back and forth, not a big deal. Expectation of profits? Yeah, but not in the first part. Investing in a common enterprise? No. It was very decentralized from the very beginning. Profits from a third party? No. So not a security. So moving on, they took a look at Ethereum. They said, well, what about Ethereum? Did you invest money in Ethereum? Yes. Expectation of profits? Yes. Was there investment in a common enterprise, or was it decentralized? Well, not at first. But then it became decentralized, and they said yes. And then profits from third party, maybe. So ETH was declared not a security in around 2018. William Hidman, director of the Division of Corporate Finance at the SEC, stated, based on my understanding of the present state of Ether, the Ethereum network and its decentralized structure currently offers and sales of Ether are not securities transactions. So it's really what it comes down to is this decentralized or not? And right now, there are people saying, well, great, well, XRP is not decentralized, because that's what I hear on the internet. And that's what everybody says, not decentralized, not decentralized. That's not it. So first, let's look at EOS. EOS was determined to be a security initially, and they ran it through the numbers. They said, yep, common enterprise, yep, and prosper, yes. So what happened to EOS? Well, first of all, it's still around, as you all know. But what the SEC said in a press release, that Block 1 raised the equivalent of several $1 billion over a 1-year period in an unregistered ICO. A total of $4 billion was raised, and Block 1 agreed to settle the charges according to the SEC. The fine was, how much was the fine? $24 million whopping dollars out of $4.1 billion. And the fine amounts to 0.58% of the initial rise. So what happened here? In the beginning, EOS was not decentralized. They didn't have these blockchain producers, these what would be considered like a node. And they said, well, you ran an ICO. It was unregistered. That's a security. So everything that you ran that ICO, we're going to fine you. We're going to fine you big, EOS, $24 million. Now you take your $4 billion left and get out of here, and you better have learned your lesson. In its own press release, Block 1 said the settlement only applies to the sale of the original ERC20 tokens it sold. EOS holders swapped their Ethereum-based tokens with the proper EOS tokens when the network first went live. So, what does this mean for EOS? Moving forward, is everything a security? Or was it just the ICOs? Were they all just the tokens, the ERC20 tokens beforehand? Well, Block 1 statement said that its ERC20 token is no longer in circulation and will not require the token to be registered as a security with the SEC. So there it is. So the question I had when I read this before was, well, what does it mean to be decentralized? How much do we have to be? How much would it be decentralized to be considered not a security? Well, EOS, they have 21 blockchain producers, and they can fall off and they can change at any time, but it's going to be 21 per those the standards that they set up. 21. So with Bitcoin, there's thousands all over the world, right? Ethereum, thousands, hundreds, whatever it is. And the thing that I always see in the comments or on the internet is, well, XRP is not decentralized. It's everything's at Ripple company, and they all have stormtroopers around and Darth Vader. It's just the evil empire. It's awful. Well, it's not true. They have validators, and they have over 150 or around 100, somewhere between 150. And here they all are. Now, Ripple has its own. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the rest of them are some other validators, and they are the ones that have consensus. So when you talk about decentralization, it's definitely more decentralized than EOS. EOS has got 21. Now here we are with these validators, so sure. And you can just take a look at, and they're all here. I'll leave a link, and you can check them out. So do I think that XRP is going to be considered a security? No. And here's what's going to happen when it's not deemed a security. It's going to blow up. That's how I see it. I could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot. But I think that they've got a lot of people in place that we just looked at, all the different types of, they have an office in Washington, D.C. They're working with the SEC. They're working with the CFTC. And once this happens where they say, you're not a security, you're a commodity, off for the races. Moving on. Yes, this is a great one. So economist Steve Mnuchin, it's a great name, from Johns Hopkins University. He's an economist. He just pretty much just said, hey, look, cryptocurrencies are only good at one thing: enabling scams and theft. Cryptos are unsafe, unreliable, and unstable. These highly speculative assets have a long way to go until they are ready to be called real currencies. And in some respects, he's right. There's a lot of scams, and we're going to go over those momentarily, actually. But you got to understand, I don't know if he does, but it's not just about the currency, the exchange of value. You have to look at what each one does, because these digital assets, each one has its... I kind of look at it like the old games I used to play on Nintendo. You know, when I would go around and like you'd have like one magic potion to do this, one key would do this, one different sword would do this, or if I was playing Zelda or whatever else, and they all kind of do like their own little thing, and they're good at it. I believe that it's not like Bitcoin can do everything. You know, Bitcoin's not the end all be all. It's going to do smart contracts, and it's going to be great for payments, and it's going to be great for privacy, and it's going to be great. It just doesn't work like that. You stay in your lane. Just calm down. If you're good at one thing, find your niche and be good at it. And I think Bitcoin's great. Store of value. Fantastic. Store of value. Great. Stay there. Ethereum. They're great for smart contracts, and they save a ton of money. And when I talk about saving money with smart contracts, they're going to revolutionize different aspects as far as finance, decentralized finance, as far as property value to record things, as far as medical records. All these different smart contracts are going to happen in the background. People aren't going to realize it, and it's going to save so much money. They are totally useful. And of course, with XRP, I always see it as like you're saving a ton of money for cross-border remittance payments. I've had some people in my the viewers in the comment section, they said that they send money to their family, especially from the U.S. to Mexico. They save a lot of money. It takes 3 to 4 seconds. They get their pesos, and everybody's happy. So you're telling me that you can save money, make it faster, and it just works? Well, I think it's got value, and it's not just a scam. And then there's another one called Ven. I used to own Ven or VeChain, and some of you may own it. I own these 6. I own Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Chainlink, EOS, and Cardano. I've had up to 40 plus different coins, and I used to own VeChain. I just don't anymore because I wanted to consolidate everything. But VeChain's used to track different types of not packages, but different products, produce, make sure that it's not only fresh, viable, but also to make sure that it is actually real and authentic. So, I mean, you got some like VeChain, and there's others out there that do different things. They all have their own little magical ways that they do stuff, right? That's what blockchain, that's the power of digital assets. I'm not gonna say cryptocurrencies because they're all assets. So with this guy, I always look at, he's just a professor of economics. That's all he is. He can only tell me what was. He is... And the best way to put this is there was a documentary. It was called Billions and Change. And it was from Manoj Bhargava. And he's a gentleman, he's a billionaire that owns 5 Hour Energy. And what he did was, instead of like just donating all his money, because he said, I'll never be able to donate all my money, because it doesn't really work like that. If I want to make change in the world, I have to bring change. And then he said that what he would do is, he was looking at 4 different things, electricity, water, health, whatever. But he would go and he would talk to experts. And this is what he says about experts. And I thought it's perfectly aligned with what we're talking about as far as economists right now. Listen to this. It's about 30 seconds.
I mean, we define stuff. Like expert. What's an expert? Expert is someone who knows everything that was. He's really good at what was. And if you ask him about what will be, he says, no, that can't be done, because I'm an expert on what was. Well, why do I need you? Because if I wanted to do what was, I don't have a business. So, we do talk to experts just to make sure that maybe they've thought of something, or the history of that area is something that we haven't thought of. But we really don't rely on them for the future, because that's just silly.
That's just silly. All right. Thanks for listening to the entirety of this video and listening to the rants. I want to say thanks for sticking around. If you got a couple more minutes, stick with me. We're going to go over the scam of the day, where we try to police our community, because just like the economist Hanke said, there is a lot of scams going on, and we need to get rid of them. So if you're new to the channel, I want to say welcome. Thanks for stopping by. We do what's called Scam of the Day. Problem is that this is going to be a big year for us, for all of us in this space. And when we have people coming in, if they get screwed out of their money, that person tells 10 of their friends, those 10 tell 1,000, 1,000 tells 10,000. And it becomes just what Hanky talked about. This place is a cesspool. It is ripe for scams. It is used for money laundering. It is used by the card, whatever they say, right? So we need to make this as hospitable as possible. So how do we do that? Well, we wipe out the scam. So in the description of every one of my videos is going to be a nice big fat letters that says scam of the day. And when we click on that, it's going to take us to this handy dandy Google spreadsheet, and it's going to look at all the different scams that we busted so far. So we just started this about a month ago. We're doing pretty good. I mean, we've wiped out 30, 40, some, I don't know, tons of scams, and I'm really happy. It makes me glad that we're able to do this and get rid of these scams, because people get screwed over left and right, and I just can't have that happen. We can't have that happen, I will say. So how does this work? Well, all the ones that are removed, these are the dates that are removed. We don't need to worry about those. Right now, we've only got 3 left. I mean, there's more, there's always more, but these are the ones that we're going to focus on. We're going to pick the change that we can do right now. So just click on any of the links and we'll go to the actual video. So for this one's new. This is the Binance 10,000 Bitcoin, 100,000 Ethereum giveaway. Guess what? Everything's a scam. I forgot to talk about this. If you treat everything as a scam until proven otherwise, then it's a scam. Treat everything as a scam until proven otherwise. Treat everything as a scam until proven otherwise. So with this type of situation, we're going to look at this and go, this is a scam. This is a scam until proven otherwise. What's the easiest way to verify it? Well, we could go to Binance, drop them an email, go, hey, are you guys giving away 10,000 Bitcoin and 100,000 Ethereum? They're going to email us back, no. We can go to Ripple. Hey, are you guys giving away 100 million XRP? No. Hey, Ledger, are you guys giving away a nano for? No, we're not doing that. So if you ever have any doubts, first of all, treat it like a scam. Second of all, go to the official website, send them an email. Usually takes 24 hours to get an answer, and they'll always tell you it's a scam. So that will save you a lot of heartache. So let's take a look at this one. First of all, I mean, hey, maybe Binance is doing it. I've already emailed them. They told me, no, we're not doing that. But let's just take a look. What are 2 things that we can look at really quick to see if it's a scam? Well, first of all, if it's a scam, sometimes they shut the comments off. Like here, they shut the comments off. And if the comments are on, usually it'll say it's a scam. But this one doesn't have comments, so that's a red flag. Second of all, we're looking for what's called an asymmetrical giveaway. So what does that mean? That means that in some way, shape, or form, they're going to ask us for 1 Ethereum to send us 10 Ethereum back. Or they're going to ask us for 0.1 Bitcoin to give us a full Bitcoin. That's an asymmetrical giveaway. You're not special. No one's giving you free money. So just get that out of your head right now. So let's take a look. Where is the asymmetrical giveaway? Well, here is the link itself. So we click on that. And it's going to go to this latest news by Binance. Oh, there's CZ. He looks so happy giving away money. So here's the Bitcoin contribution address. So what does this mean? And it's always the same nonsense. If you send 0.1 Bitcoin, you'll get 0.5 back. If you get 0.5 Bitcoin, you'll get 2.5 back. That's crazy. So that's not a thing. That's an asymmetrical giveaway, which means it is a scam, which means we're going to get rid of it. How do we do that? Well, first of all, we're going to click on dislike. And I would like to mention this here, that this Binance English has 13.1 million subscribers. So if you saw that, you'd probably like, it looks pretty legit. I mean, how are these scammers going to get 13 million subscribers? I'm going to tell you how. There's 2 ways. First of all, they will either hijack a YouTube channel. What they do is they will send people like me an email, say, hey, let's work together, and just sign this agreement. And once they sign the agreement, there is a keylogger in there. It'll track all the different keystrokes you do on your keyboard. It will break into your YouTube channel, wipe out your videos, change your username or change your password so you can't get in, and then it'll just put this one video with all your subscribers. So whoever this was worked a long time on this to have this many subscribers. That sucks, and it's going to get wiped away because we're all going to attack it. Secondly, they could do it as they can go on the dark web, and they can pay for, they can give like half a Bitcoin, 10 Ethereum, or 20 Ethereum, whatever it is. That's what the going rate is. And they will sell them a channel with 100,000, 200,000, 1 million subscribers that they have curated or stolen from somebody else. So there's two ways they do it. So don't just think that because they got a lot of subscribers, they're awesome. Look, I've only got, I got like 13,000 subscribers. So, I mean, and yeah. So it's not like I'm awful, but sure. So 13 million subscribers. That's interesting. And then over here, the channel has 7.73 billion views. I don't know if you can see that, but you would think that's legit. It's not legit. It's totally a scam. So we're going to dislike, and we're going to look for this report. If the flag doesn't come up on some of your, for different scams, just click on the 3 dots over here, and it'll be on this side if the scammers have hit it. So we're going to click on report. We are going to say spam or misleading. We are going to choose one. We're going to say scams and fraud. And it applies the links in the description. We're going to click next. We're going to say this is a scam. And we're going to report, and we're done. That's it. So we've done the hard work for you. We found them. All we need you to do is just downvote and then report it. Now, the reason why I'm asking you for this is because if I do it, I'm just one person, just some nut on YouTube reporting these scams. But if you help me out, then that's 2. And then if the thousands of people that watch this video do it, this scam will get wiped away. People won't lose their money. And then in the future, these scammers will hopefully think a little bit harder about putting these types of scams up and screwing people over. And then we can have people come into this space and not lose all their money. So thanks. I really appreciate it. Now, that's it for today's video. I want to say thanks for sticking with me through the rants. If you like this type of video, there's going to be 2 more coming up on the left and right. I don't know which ones they are. They're set up for you by YouTube. Go ahead and click those, and I will see you on the next one.